Here's what happened when I dedicated my life to the gym for 1,000 days in powerlifting to increase my squat, bench, and deadlift, and also improve my physique. So a little bit of backstory. I'm now 20 years old, and I started working out consistently when I was 15 years old. My brother got me into the gym, and it was just something I like to do every once in a while for fun. When I was nearing 16, I started going to the gym every day, and I kind of started to get addicted and fell in love with the gym. At 16 years old, I then started powerlifting because I realized I was stronger than the average 15, 16-year-old, and I just loved going to the gym, and I loved just seeing the progress of strength. I didn't care what my physique looked like as long as I was, gaining muscle and getting bigger. But when I turned 16 is when I finally started to really strive for pushing my strength. So after starting to get into powerlifting for a couple of months, I decided it was probably appropriate to get a coach to be able to push myself a little further and get a lot stronger. So on December 19th of 2022, I got my first coach, and my first recorded sets of squat, bench, and deadlift was this set of 205 pounds on squat, this bench press, which was 125 pounds for a couple of reps, and then this deadlift of 310 pounds for a couple of reps. Now if you fast forward to April of 2023, I was then squatting with sets of 290 pounds, which you can see in this video. I was repping 190 pounds on bench press. And I was then deadlifting 365 pounds for reps. I'd like to add in this April 2023 time is when I started taking supplements like creatine and pre-workout. I recommend taking the creatine if you want long-term muscle growth because it is the most researched supplement that helps you with recovery as long as making and building muscle for the future. Now, in October 2023 is when things really started to change for me. All my lifts were blowing up, and I was started to compete in the 67.5 kilogram weight class, or the 148 pound body weight class for powerlifting. So in this video is actually a squat PR of me squatting 425 pounds at 146 pounds, which was a unofficial record at the time. Bench started making big moves as well. I was finally able to hit the 225 mark, which is what most lifters strive for on bench. Deadlift started as well making big moves as my sumo finally started to get better and I finally learned what was going on. And so in this video, I deadlifted 465 pounds for a single. In April of 2024, I was able to easily rep all my previous maxes in October. In this video, it's me squatting 400 plus pounds for reps with ease. I was then also deadlifting 465 pounds with ease as well, and as well as my sumo deadlift also getting better once again. And then I was able to keep pushing my bench and even get better form and start repping 230 pounds with ease as well. And then came August of 2024, where my lifts blew up once again. I was squatting 425 to 440 pounds with ease for doubles, triples. And then I started benching 225 to 265 for multiple reps, like 3, 4, 5. And then this is when I actually really found a stride in deadlift, hitting 500 pounds for a triple. Fast forward to now April of 2025. I was able to squat 465 pounds at like an RPE 7 to 8 to 8.5. I was then able to bench 275 pounds for a double. And then I was also able to deadlift 520 pounds for a double as well. Now jumping to modern day of October 2025 as well as November, which is when this is being recorded, I squatted 530 pounds, and this is at 160 body weight. I was now competing at 165 pound body weight and 75 kg powerlifting weight class. So that was a 530 squat. I was then finally able to bench 315 pounds or 3 plates, which is a big goal or dream for most people. And then I was also able to deadlift 575 pounds for a single. And then here's my modern day physique at 163 pounds or around 72 kilograms. I've gotten a lot fuller and a lot bigger and a lot stronger. After going back through this, it's crazy to look back and realize how much progress I've made over 4 to 5 years in powerlifting in the gym in general. And it's crazy to think where I started. I was super scrawny and small. I'll show a picture of what I look like probably in the beginning of this video. And now I'm a lot bigger, a lot fuller, and I'm finally to a place where I feel proud of myself for the strength I was able to gain and the size I was able to put on while being such a small kid, and I would get made fun of for being like a stick. And now I don't know, but who knows? I'm not going to self-proclaim anything, but it is cool to see how much progress I've made over the years, and it'll be interesting to see the progress I make over the coming years. And I'm now 20, and I'm just moving into the junior weight class of powerlifting, and so we'll see what the future holds.